For Panthers Fans Only is a sports podcast intended for mature audiences and contains profanity as well as extremely spirited conversation. What you see and hear are the sole opinions and depictions of each individual, not at all inclusive of the entire cast or any guests associated with our show. Thanks for tuning in, and always remember to stand on business.
Welcome to Fort Panthers Fans Only. Highly recommend that you refer to the tag in the beginning of the episode. If you need to start the episode back over to listen to the advisory that we have on, read it, whatever you need to do. I'm giving everybody a fair opportunity right now.
Move the kids out the room.
Yes. Move the kids out the room. If you're at work, highly recommend putting your earbuds in, headphones, whatever you prefer. If you don't already, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, if you want to find us on YouTube at the G2S Network, Instagram, Fort Panthers Fans Only. Same handle for TikTok and Twitch. You can find us on Twitter at FPFO_podcast as well. And yeah, I walked in here and I asked my co-host if he would like to go first. And he said yes. So I'm going to pass it over to him. Because I told niggas already from the very beginning that I need 10 minutes. Because I have a lot to say. But I will give it over to my co-host. If you would like to introduce yourself, you can. If you choose not to, they should know by now.
Yeah, I was about to say, y'all know by now. This is what y'all been waiting for anyway, because I had the whole world, it feel like, texting me all day yesterday, calling me, DMing me on Instagram, when the podcast going to be out. Just not even fans, just hating ass niggas, but cool. We were an easy team to kind of put in the dirt yesterday. Yesterday. We're a pretty easy team to clown because it was a fucking clown show. That's exactly what it was. Probably the worst football game that I've seen in a long time. Probably the Panthers' worst football game that I've ever seen. I've never seen a team that just gets beat in every aspect of the football game. Every position group that goes from offense, defense, special teams, the coaching staff, the athletic trainers, the offensive coordinators, the defensive coordinators, the water boys and water girls, the referees holding the chain crew, just everything, the equipment managers, like everything was bullshit yesterday. And like it was embarrassing to watch. Couldn't run the football, couldn't stop the run. Quarterback looked like bullshit, looked like he's never played a football game a day in his life. Defensive line, one of the worst defensive lines I've ever seen in my entire life. We go and get all of these guys. Number one corner, I apologize for hyping that nigga up. He's not that. I mean, he starts the game off getting beat on a 3rd and 8. Just starts the game off getting beat on a 3rd and 8 to Shaheed, whatever his name is. Rashid Shaheed, I don't know what the fuck his name is. Neither do I care. Gets beat for like 60 yards. Goes ahead and start the game that way. The defensive line.
I just want to add context just real quick. His stands have been crying and saying that it was a cover 3 and that it was a blown coverage, blown help from Jordan Fuller. And I just would like to pose the question, and then I'll give it right back to you. What difference does it make? Because the effort that he showed after the catch was fucking made is what pisses me off. Now,
well, even if it's a cover 3, if he's the corner, he still has deep thirds.
Exactly.
So,
correct.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Okay, you're supposed to have safety help over the top, but irregardless, you still have deep thirds on a cover 3. So, I mean, that's a bullshit excuse. But, okay. I don't think, unless you play football, I don't think you really understand when it comes down to a team just running the football down your throat and you just can't stop it. You're literally pushing another man against his will. Like, you're literally lining up in front of another man. He's in front of you. You're driving him back, looking him dead in the face and says, "It's not shit you can do about it." And I'm going to continue to do this for 180 yards throughout the duration of the game. I'm going to do it with Jamal Williams. I'm going to do it with Taysom Hill. I'm going to do it with Derek Carr. I'm going to do it with Alvin Kamara. And it doesn't matter who the fuck I do it with. I can bring a high school off the street. It's just y'all are so fucking soft that we're just going to continue to run the ball, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that is it's just an embarrassment. The coaching staff is soft. I've just never seen a coaching staff that just allows just bullshit effort. And, I mean, some of these things it's just basic fundamental things. Like, it's basic fundamental things. Knowing your assignment. Like, it's just simple as knowing your assignment. Holding on to the football. Reading coverages as a quarterback. Something you study day in and day out. Not making the dumbass plays. Like, it's just simple things that I don't know. And it just makes me hard to believe, and I told JJ the same thing. It makes me hard to believe that anyone who went to training camp came out of training camp, no matter how many days you went, and thought that this football team was good. Because I think the 2 days that me and Tavian went, they said those were the worst days of training camp. I think those 2 days summed up exactly who the fuck this team is. I really do. And it's hard to convince me otherwise. Because that's the same exact effort that they put on the field. Just bullshit effort. I mean, and that's really all I have to say. Just a terrible football game. Honestly, it's really even hard to sit in front of y'all and really go through this shit. Because, I mean, it's really not worth talking about. This team doesn't even deserve this much time to put into them and talking about how sorry they played yesterday. One of the worst games I ever seen. And this is looking damn near worse than it was last season. You thought 2 games was bad? Try 0. If you go out there and play like that every game, try 0 fucking games that you will win. Because I don't really think the Saints is a good football team. They're not a 47-point football team. They haven't scored 47 points since damn 2009, since they won the fucking Super Bowl. They're not a 47-point football team. But that's the kind of piss-poor effort that we show and allow them to run up the score on us and make us look like the laughing stock of the league that we fucking are. So it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment for the fans. It's an embarrassment for people who pay their money week in, week out. It's an embarrassment for the people who even turn on the TV at home watching them through the fucking screen. That's how much of an embarrassment it is. And I don't know if y'all know, this was like a month or 2 ago. I was doing the 30-day hard. I started another one, and I damn near wanted to fucking drink a whole bottle yesterday. I wanted to down a whole fucking bottle yesterday because this team is such bullshit. But you take the floor.
Yeah, I mean, oh boy, if you discovered our content this summer during Move to Change, the tonality that I presented to you guys was one that I felt was deserving, more or less, just because it's summer, everybody's 0-0, et cetera, et cetera. However, if you're familiar with our content pre-Move to Change, pre the summer 2024, y'all kind of know how we give it up, specifically me. Because I'm the main culprit for a lot of bullshit that we deal with, whether it come on the streets, whether it, be us outside, getting us blocked, whatever the case may be, more times than not, it's because of me. And fortunately enough, I'm comfortable with being in that position on this podcast. I would say that. That's number one. So just circling back to, if you discovered our content over the summer, the tonality that you're going to hear within the next 6 or 7 minutes is going to be completely different. Because this is the thing. I warned everybody when we wrapped our episode up last week that off-season JJ shit was over with. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Because I did my best. I did my best to avoid niggas' personal lives, avoid attacking people, or calling them out of their names, and trying to use other words, other pronouns. That's a that's a hot commodity word in just in the world right now. Pronouns, right? I try to avoid all of that shit, and then I see what I seen yesterday. Now, well, I would admit to you guys, on this cast as well as people that are viewing, and I'm sure a lot of y'all probably felt the same way. I'm damn near just getting over being sick. Like, literally. Like, the performance that I saw, the product that I saw on the field yesterday, literally had my head fucking pulsating. And this nigga is laughing because he's 1-0.
Hold on. Not to mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I was damn near in the same boat. I woke up last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, and my eye was just throbbing, and my head was throbbing. And it wasn't – it's nothing that I did yesterday that would have caused that other than watch the fucking Carolina Panthers play.
And I don't think they get it.
And I was just like, bro, like, there's no way that my body feels like this other than thinking about how sorry this team is. Like, it's no other way that makes my body feel like that. Because I woke up this morning, I felt the same way. The moment I got to work and stopped thinking about the game, I was good. The moment I turned on the fucking film again at work, right back. Right back.
Literally.
Just fucking embarrassing.
Literally. And if y'all are confused on why I'm smiling and why I'm laughing, it's just really because, like, I think that's probably, for me personally, the only way that I can keep from fucking raging out. Like, and I know that y'all are here. A lot of y'all are here because y'all want to see JJ rage. And I think, because I'm going to get to talking in a few minutes, because it's a lot of shit that I want to say. Because for the life of me, I can't understand why. This is the fucking product that we get week 1. And we got niggas taking multiple fucking veteran days during training camp. We completely, matter of fact, we can even go back further and talk about the decision to go get a outside linebacker with a torn quad, knowing that room in particular was questionable. So I can't really, for the life of me, understand why I experienced training camp the way I did this offseason and why I saw some of the shit going on that I did. Multiple back-to-back fucking days, light days, minimal contact, right? This is all stuff that I saw with my own eyes over the summer. So then, cool. If that's your approach as a first-year head coach, and that is your system, and that's the approach that you think is going to be successful and work, then cool. But what I can guarantee you, this is my thought process, right? I can guarantee you, you better be fucking right. Because if you're not, then shit really hits the fan. And that's what we saw yesterday. That's what we saw yesterday. And like I said, I'm going to try my best not to rage because it is week 1. I'm going to fight really, 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 really hard. Because y'all niggas, I'm sure that for one, a lot of y'all that watch aren't Panthers fans, right? I can make that assumption with 100% conviction. I know it's a very, very good amount of people that watch this show that aren't Panthers fans, and we appreciate y'all. We do. I know to a certain degree it is entertainment for you guys, right? But I don't think y'all really understand. Like, we laugh about this shit because it's just like we care so much that it's like almost comical. But I really don't think that y'all understand, like, what that shit, for me personally, I won't speak on his behalf. For me personally, what this shit does to my mental health. Like, literally. When I was fucking, I don't even know. When is the season that we went to 1-16? Whatever it was. 2-15, 1-16, whatever the fuck it was with Jimmy Clausen.
No, that was like 2011.
Jimmy Clausen.
Maybe before that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
12 years old. Every single game I fucking spent watching the shit, 3.5, 4 hours of my life every Sunday. And I want y'all to understand that I fucking shed tears every fucking week because that's how much I care about winning. And I don't have to be directly in the situation. I can be a fan the way I am of the Carolina Panthers, and I'm such a diehard fan that when I was 11, 12 years old, that shit was bringing me to fucking tears.
Yeah, 2010.
Now, after that, I think it was probably 2015 when I shed tears behind the Carolina Panthers again. The next time I shed tears or was on the brink of shedding tears behind the Carolina Panthers was the return of Cam Newton in Bank of America Stadium. y'all must understand that, I'm only 25 years old. So Cam played a huge part in my childhood, whether y'all like it or not. I couldn't give a fuck. And really, I'm tired of this, like, unspoken rule that we can't bring up Cam Newton and what he did for this fucking franchise, like, because we're in this new era of Carolina Panther football. I'm done with that shit. I'm done with that shit too. So that was the next time probably that I shed tears or was on the brink of shedding tears behind the Carolina Panthers. And as a grown-ass man yesterday, and he's laughing because the fucked up part about it all is that I wouldn't sit up here and lie to y'all niggas. Not about something like this. Now, I might come up here and fabricate a story or two, or whatever the case may be, to make it more entertaining. But this is not one of those situations. Like, I'm literally looking dead at the camera so y'all understand that when I watched the Carolina Panthers yesterday, after the hours and hours and hours that we've spent creating content behind this team, the thousands and thousands of dollars that I'm already out of this season. Yesterday, as a grown-ass fucking man, 25 years old, the performance that I saw yesterday literally almost drove me to fucking tears. Because it's such a fucking helpless situation. Like, literally, I really want y'all to understand this shit. And I'm sure y'all probably get a kick out of it. Because, I'm a big nigga. Y'all see this loud personality, whatever the case may be. Like, this nigga's laughing. He's laughing. Cool. Yeah, cool. I don't have y'all can call me a bitch, a pussy, whatever y'all want to do. But one thing I do guarantee is that y'all niggas won't try me in the streets like that. I do know that for a fact. But I was watching the game literally with some people yesterday. And I literally had to leave where I was and go in a separate room and watch the game by myself on my fucking laptop. The laptop that y'all see right there. Because the shit was so fucking unbearable. And I just felt like with each play that went on and on and on, the tears just fucking started swelling up in my eyes. Like, literally. Literally. Like, that, and that shit is embarrassing as hell. Like, as a fan, as a grown-ass man to come on here and tell y'all this shit. But, like, my producer can attest to this shit. Because, I wasn't talking to anybody for at least 4 or 5 hours. But at one point or another after the game, me and him had a conversation. And I know that this nigga could hear my voice shaking out of pure rage, frustration, like any adjective you can think of, any fucking verb, whatever the fuck the English grammatically correct word is to describe how I was feeling. That's how I know. And it lasted for at least 4.5 to 5 hours because it seems fucking helpless. It seems helpless. You go out here, you make all of these moves. You have this draft that, we take a nigga whose ACL is fucked off because we feel like for whatever reason that's a risk we can take. And I'm not going to shit on XL because XL looked halfway decent to me yesterday, personally, as I watched the film. He looked a lot more developed and advanced than I believed he was going to look throughout the season. So I'll give Xavier Legette credit. But then you go and get a linebacker that doesn't see the field other than special teams yesterday. Not for any particular reason, because it's not like everybody on the field wasn't getting dicked already. So if everybody is getting dicked, then we might as well throw 56 out there and see if he going to get dicked too. See if he got some dog in him. Because that's what, that was the mantra for this offseason, right? We want to find us some dogs. Hate to tell you, unfortunately, Dan Morgan, Dave Tepper, etc., y'all did a fucking terrible job at it. Because what I saw yesterday, I ain't seen not nail one on the bitch-ass field. Not one. Derek Brown wanted to make the comment over the summer that this ain't the same weak-ass Carolina Panthers team that it's been over the past 5, 6, 7 years. You were absolutely correct, Derek Brown, because this team is fucking worse. Just fucking soft, embarrassing. Lack of effort, lack of execution. They pan to my fucking quarterback on the sideline, and this bitch nigga look like he about to cry. Nigga, drop your fucking nuts. You have every opportunity to change the situation that you're in. I'm sick and tired of the excuse about the O-line play. sick and tired of the excuse about wide receivers, because that shit, if you look at PFF, if you look at the average separation chart, which we'll go into a little bit later on, not applicable. This front office, as well as this GM, did everything in their power to make sure that that was not an excuse for Bryce Young in year 2. And guess what I got to see? First bitch-ass play of the fucking new season, a fucking overthrow with a clean bitch-ass pocket. And don't tell me it wasn't clean. Because, nigga, what y'all don't realize and what y'all don't give us credit for, I don't know who does what that creates content, but what I know that y'all don't give us credit for is that we do go above and beyond to look at the film. We do go above and beyond to break down the all 22, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So don't tell me that it wasn't clean, and don't tell me that Deontay Johnson wasn't open on the pass. Because guess what? They asked y'all's head coach in the press conference today on Monday afternoon, what did you see on the first interception? Did you believe that Deontay Johnson was open? He said he had a hedge. He had a platform. There was room to make the throw. There was a window to make it. He said that's the type of coverage you're going to see at this level. Hard press coverage. That's the kind of coverage you're going to see. You have to have the ability to make those throws. Do you think that we got it? Do you think that we saw that yesterday? Matter of fact, I don't even need to ask those type rhetorical questions because y'all know. So then I go on Twitter because y'all motherfuckers, and excuse my French, I'm going to cut it back a little bit, but y'all are just so delusional and have such an infatuation with just mid-ass bullshit play that every opportunity there is to give an excuse or to have an excuse, y'all were going to make it. So what do I go on X and see yesterday? The same bullshit Matt Rule was spewing. Rome wasn't built in a day. We can't get things right that fast, 1 year removed. We have a rookie quarterback, this and that, this and that. Well, don't tell me that shit. When I sat there and watched the Houston Texans do it, they were 3-13 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And in the following year, they were in the playoffs. Don't tell me that we broke Bryce Young as an organization. Now, I will say, I understand the position about him not having the most ideal situation last year as a rookie. But I do believe that the Carolina Panthers did a great job at making the attempt to fix that. And yesterday, I believe that they executed well enough, the offensive line as well as the receivers around Bryce, to not have that as an excuse. So don't come to me and say that the Panthers broke Bryce Young when I sat there and watched Trevor Lawrence deal with Urban Meyer, who was fingering a bitch in the bar and kicking niggas pregame, went 3-14, and then the following year, if I'm not mistaken, was in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they lost to Kansas City.
So don't give me all of these excuses. Don't give me all of these excuses. Because I don't want to hear them. And I'm sick and tired of hearing them. And I will take responsibility. Because my dumbass came on this platform last week. And then on For Panthers Fans Only live stream pregame preview on Friday. And told y'all that this team had the ability to win 8 or 9 games. I'm here to recant that statement right now. And I apologize. Because what I've realized over the summer, that I'm part of the fucking problem. I should have stood on business with Bryce Young, just like I told my co-host yesterday. I should have stood on business with that nigga. Because I think we did a great job at explaining the truth about Bryce Young and why it just simply will not work in Carolina when them niggas came out to training camp. Terrence and Tavian came to training camp, and we had a conversation about Bryce Young. And I said, I think Bryce Young is a good game manager. I think he has the ability to be successful in this new scheme, et cetera, et cetera. But what I understand about him is that he doesn't have that fucking heart. He does not have the ability to lead men. And I went on Two Fans in the Stands pre-draft, and I said that. And I honed in on the fact of his size, and I shouldn't have. Because it's not even just a size thing. It's a mentality thing. He don't got that fucking killer in him. So then when I have a conversation and I tell niggas, hey, you know what kind of struck me a little bit wrong when I was at training camp? It may seem light to y'all. It may seem dumb as hell to y'all. It could be JJ tweaking out again to y'all. But what really bothered me the wrong fucking way is that every day when I walked in and scanned my ticket to attend training camp on the VIP side. Every single day, I see Mama Young and Daddy Young in the same fucking corner every single day. And when Bryce Young was working away, they would be in that corner. And when Bryce Young was working to us, his daddy would be right at that fucking fence. So when I say stuff like that, and then y'all act like I'm a tweak out a fucking certified crash dummy, y'all want to look at me crazy, y'all need to start listening and paying attention. Because that same shit goes to the development mentally and the understanding that this nigga just might simply not have what we need in Carolina. Because on that sideline, when they asked him that question post-presser, they asked him about when they panned to him and what I mentioned, that the tears were swelling up in his eyes and shit. That's what you get when you put a young quarterback, in a hostile environment and they don't have the ability to make the fucking plays. They search for a way out. Daddy can't save you when you get on that field against a bunch of grown-ass fucking men that's trying to put food on their table for their children. This ain't fucking little peewee football no more. This ain't high school football no more. You not at Alabama no more. And unfortunately, I'm singling Bryce Young out, but it's not just a Bryce Young thing. It's an organizational thing. And I'm going to end my rant there because we do have a lot of stuff we want to go through about the game, give y'all juice, etc. But just know, what I saw yesterday, if that is the performance that we get continuously throughout the duration of this season, there's a possibility that for Panthers fans, only season 4 will end a little bit early. Because I promise y'all that I will not do what the fuck we did last year. I will not continue to bust my ass on this podcast, spend the amount of money that I do, et cetera, behind a team that just simply don't give a fuck. I will not do that. I promise you. Now, off of that, how is everybody doing? Are you okay?
I mean, yeah, for what it's going to be today.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm probably, like, not even on no funny shit, I'm probably going to need a therapist this year.
They come in handy.
Because, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Like, honestly. And he laughs because he thinks it's a joke.
He needs one too.
Yeah,
he just doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I probably need one worse than him right now. Honestly.
Wow.
How are you doing? Because they haven't heard you speak. You can speak now, nigga. Welcome.
Hey. just because for the purposes of content, I really wanted you to be able to get your rocks off and vent. You know, I know you needed it for your mental health because, as you stated, when I called you yesterday, you finally got back to me. You know, I was about to say something, and then I heard your tone of voice, and I was like, I'm going to just let him be. I said they done did enough to him today. I'm going to let him be. So...
Yeah, just embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm feeling good though. I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here. It's a beautiful Monday, pretty chill day at work. You know, everything has been going smooth. I'm not gonna say
Cowboys are 1-0.
I'm not gonna say. I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't even gonna touch it.
I mean, but you decided to wear that bum ass shirt on the set. So I mean,
this was specifically to troll you, just to troll you specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
because I really. Again, none of what that team does this season matters until January for me. We always win a lot of games in the regular season over the last 3 years. Cool. Deshaun Watson is not fucking good. They were gassing him up all offseason. He hasn't been good in the whole presidential term. I mean, so...
He got hit with another allegation today. Did you see that? From 2020.
I didn't, but
sexual assault and... Shit, it was another charge as well.
The way he been playing, I mean, he might need to take time off to fight that.
Yeah,
because he looks like bullshit.
Yeah, he does. He does. Hey, I will say that's one thing that Dave Tepper did get right. We're not paying you $230, so find it elsewhere. I'm glad we're not stuck with that.
Yeah, that's honestly
that would have made me rage even more.
Could you imagine
if we'd have gave him $230 million and he plays like that? Yeah, I would have.
Yeah, because every single week you're begging that he gets stretched.
Yeah.
As a fan.
Literally.
Yeah.
But I think for y'all's situation, though, what makes it like sting more than anything. And it makes it a little bit better that Caleb looked like bullshit yesterday. First game as a rookie, though. We'll see.
That resulted in a win, regardless. But continue.
Just only because of that defense. That defense put that shit on Tennessee.
They didn't even score offensive touchdown.
Yeah, no, they look terrible.
They won.
But what makes it worse is the fact that the second and third quarterbacks from last season put on a show out there. Where were they? Indianapolis or or in Houston?
They were in Indy.
They were in Indy, right? Yeah, they put on a show in Indy. And my God, if the third quarterback selected didn't have a drop back where he slid, had to put his hand in the dirt, stand back up, and throw a dart 60 yards down the fucking field to Alec Pierce.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I mean, just that is what I think stings the most is the fact that you had to watch the product that you had to watch at 1 p.m. with Bryce Young, and then simultaneously watch the 2 and 3 battle it out and just a fight for the ages and what looks like is blossoming a beautiful rivalry in that division for years to come.
Shit, you talking about them. I seen Will Levis make better passes yesterday than Bryce Young did.
I also saw Will Levis end up on his knees.
I mean, you seen that.
That was embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. That was embarrassing.
I mean, you seen that, but if you think about it, if you watch the football game, he made better plays than Bryce Young did yesterday.
No, absolutely.
Like, outside of him doing that bullshit at the end, like, the Titans were, like, I thought they were going to look like dog shit, but they didn't look like a terrible team yesterday.
No, they didn't. Shout out Tony Pollard, too. I didn't think he was going to look as good as he did in that offense. Looked great. Shout out TP. But, no, you're absolutely right. Every quarterback damn near from that draft class that played yesterday looked better than Bryce, who was the number 1 overall pick, who you had to watch come out on the very first play and airmail one. Across the middle of the field for a pick who came out on the next drive and airmailed another one, who came out to start the third quarter and airmailed another one. Like, it was just like bad throw after bad throw after bad throw, and there was no rhythm established for the offense. I think one thing that's painfully obvious about Bryce Young at this particular point, we have enough film, is to know that Bryce Young is a rhythm player. He is a rhythm quarterback. Everything needs to be perfect and in time for him. And when you start the game off like that and you never establish your rhythm, when you're airmailing throws, when you have big plays getting called back due to holdings, when you have good plays turning into bad plays because we can't hold on to the ball running around the edge, when you have an offense that is when everybody is making mistakes at different points in time in the game and no rhythm is ever established, what you saw happen on Sunday is the result that you're going to get. It was, like you said at the start, a complete and total failure, all 3 levels of the game, all 3 phases of the game. Special teams, offense, defense.
That shit is pathetic. That special teams
at the end. Special teams at the end of the second, right before halftime, defense or offense punts it deep. You know, you're expecting the defense to maybe hold out, keep it a 3-score game, and special teams gives up like a 50, 60-yard return, puts them right into score. Yeah.
They about cribbed the first kickoff we had. That's something else that I didn't touch on over training camp that I wish I did too. The amount of time that we spent on a new kickoff just was not good enough for me, especially not after what I seen yesterday. Just simply was not good enough. And then, I mean, it's on both sides, bro. It's kick return and kick off. Like, just getting cocked everywhere, dog. Like, I've never in my life, and you mentioned something earlier, and I'm going to go a step further. This is the worst game that I've ever seen from a Carolina Panthers team in my life. We had some close seconds. That Cincinnati game a couple years back is a very, very close second.
You seen offense, though, in that game. You seen stuff that looked like something you could take away from it. I don't even know if there's anything that I can take away from this game.
Even the Pittsburgh game, and I would probably put that at number 2, just because that Pittsburgh game in 2018 has us in the position that we're currently in right now.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But yesterday was number 1 for me. And I don't know if it's recency bias or what, but that was the worst performance, all 3 phases of the game that I have ever seen damn near from any football team in my life.
And actually, because I don't even want to leave off this just yet, because I also want to add in the fact that both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield played phenomenal yesterday, and their teams won the game.
Which is just, I mean, and that's just how people in the league get off. Niggas be hurt damn near for most of their career. They go, leave, be an MVP candidate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got multiple quarterbacks that leave and just start cooking, shredding shit. So, that's just the life of a Carolina Panther fan.
Well, it's very obvious then. If everybody can sit back and confidently say that, it's very obvious where it stems from. This team will never be a successful team until Dave Tepper gets from under us.
Until he fucking croaks.
Yeah, because
Simple.
Everybody just plays a lot better when they leave the Carolina Panthers organization. It just happens. It just happens.
And all of that cap room that they created, too, like, I know it's going to look lovely on paper, and it's going to be phenomenal. But this is the same thing that I've been trying to say since Deontay Johnson got in this building, that free agents have to want to come here. And unfortunately, just like we saw with Frankie Louvu last year, there's no desire to be in Charlotte right now. What is the purpose? What's the point? Why would you want to come play for an organization that is dysfunctional? Every other season, they have a brand new head coach. They have a subpar, actually a dog shit right now, quarterback leading them. Their edge room looks like shit. Their linebacker play looks like shit, with the exception of Shaq Thompson, because Shaq Thompson did have a halfway decent game yesterday. I'll give him credit. He was probably the best player on the field for the Carolina Panthers.
Him and Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods had a halfway decent game
yesterday.
Mike Jackson looked really, 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 really good.
Yeah, he was flying over the field too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all of this being said, and I'll go right back to you. My apologies for cutting you off. There are definitely bright spots. There were. They were very, very minimal and very, 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 very dim given the situation. But there were pieces, and there was, plays being made here and there. There were plays being made here and there. But that is not enough to make a free agent want to come here. So all of that cap space that we have next year, and we feel oh so good because we may be able to go get a big-time receiver, this and that, it's just not happening.
All it means is you're going to overpay somebody.
You're going to overpay somebody that's mediocre as fuck. Continue. My apologies.
No, I mean, I think that's a great segue into, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about that game because what did we see on the field? Because I know when the game was live, when you guys were watching it, I was trying to tell everybody to calm down and, relax because it was only the first quarter of the first game of the season.
But he wasn't even watching the game at that point.
Yeah, until I cut on the film and I saw why you guys may have been reacting the way that you were.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what you saw, starting with the very first drive that the Saints had, where the defense does a halfway decent job of. They allowed one first down, but then the next first set of first downs, they do a good job of putting the defense in third and manageable.
3rd and 8, actually. So
third
it was really 3rd and long.
Yeah, it wasn't
really.
even 3rd and manageable.
Yeah,
third and
long.
Was it 3rd and 8? I thought it was 3rd and 4.
It was 3rd and 8.
Okay.
3rd and 8.
So they put him in 3rd and long, a favorable position for the defense. And then Derek Carr flicks his wrist 60 yards, and
it comes from, like I said, it comes from really just lack of reps together. And honestly, the more that I sat back and watched the game yesterday, I believed that I was completely wrong yet again in regards to that whole preseason conversation.
I was gonna bring that up today.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah,
I was waiting to bring it up, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, another situation that I was just completely wrong, bro. Because there was just a boatload of guys that did not get reps together in the preseason, live game reps, and it just showed. And unfortunately, I thought that it was okay because I'm thinking guys are professionals. We know our scheme, we know our system. We got guys like JC, Shaq, etc., that have been in this system for multiple years now defensively. Same thing with the receivers, in particular, Mingo, Thielen, etc. So I thought it was okay. But I mean, boy, was I mistaken. And unfortunately, I put my trust in a nigga that has no head coaching experience at all, only has 1 year as a play caller of experience under his belt. Unfortunately, I put my trust in a guy like that to make a decision I don't believe our starters need the live game reps in the preseason. That's on me. Another situation where I led y'all astray. My apologies. I apologize. But, I mean, overall, like you said, that's how the game starts. You get bombed, right? You get bombed over the top. And unfortunately, that was just the beginning of a complete avalanche from the Saints offense.
And it was given up by the number one cornerback.
It was like no matter how
number
you
one
want to. I
quarterback.
mean, no matter how you want to look at it, bro. Like, was he supposed to have help over top? I believe
he was looking for it. Yeah, you can tell he looked for it, but the safety bit on the other cross
on the
that
under
he saw.
route, right?
Yeah.
And that's a mechanical thing that we have to get worked out. That's a schematical thing we have to get worked out. But that does not excuse the lack of effort on the back end of the play, bro. Like, I don't care if you get bombed, but don't let me see you get bombed and then start bitching while the receiver is still only 6 or 7 yards away from the end zone because you want to throw your hands up and complain and pass the blame off to somebody else. That is a good way to end up on my shit list. That is a great way to end up on my shit list. And I've just been able to get over the hump of J.C. Horn and giving him his credit because the whole injury thing, I'm done with that shit too. And I know y'all want to pay him, but if that's the effort that I'm going to see and let him fuck around and get hurt this year, yeah, no. Beat it. It'll just be another case of somebody going elsewhere, staying healthy, being an all-pro, whatever the case may be. But if that's what's going to be in the locker room, it's a cancer and we don't need it. Sorry. So that's the first drive. We come back, first off for one, again, kick return looks dog shit. Glad to see Raheem Blackshear is still alive, though. I mean, that was phenomenal to see. I damn near almost forgot he was on the roster. But cool. First offensive snap. And we airmail some shit that, like, realistically, with the pocket, realistically, with the route being ran the way it was properly, inside leverage established, cornerback sealed, should have been an easy completion. But before we even get there, it was a mistake on Dave Canales' part to even want to respond to a 50-yard bomb with a play-action pass off rip when, quote-unquote, we're going to be stubborn about us establishing our run game this year.
Yeah, you run the ball on first and second down. If that's the case.
Well, I mean,
Canales
called a good play. The dude was open. The play was there to be made. The guy is open. And by NFL standards, he was wide open.
But you just said by your own account, hold on. You just said by your own account that everything has to be perfect for Bryce Young. And the first thing that you do while he's down 7-0 in his first game back as a second-year franchise quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, the first thing that you do is put additional pressure on him before letting him get that rhythm and feel for the game.
I did say that. However, this particular play and this throw was a very basic. This wasn't like a high-level throw. This wasn't nothing crazy. Like, this was a simple, like, what was it, a slant? He ran a slant, right?
It was like a deep end. It was like a deep end crosser.
Something right across the middle, 10 yards. Yeah. 10 yards across the middle. So you're telling me you're an NFL quarterback, you're a first-round draft pick, you played at Alabama, and you can't hit a crossing route over the middle 10 yards? You're like, I'm your head coach, and, like, I've been with you also, and I've seen you hit this throw before. I am led to believe that you can't hit this throw right now. This is the first play of the game. I'm not thinking. I'm calling this play because I have trust in you, and I'm confident in your ability, and you go out there and reward me by airmailing it. I gave you exactly what you wanted. I gave you a wide-open receiver, the receiver that we just went and grabbed for you in the offseason, one-on-one, inside leverage, and you airmail it. That's not. I'm sorry, I'm not blaming Coach Canales for that. I think you called a good play. You hit that, and then you come back and smack him in the mouth with a run. You get that offense rolling right there. You're looking at a much different game, in my opinion. But you just dick it off.
Or you run the ball on the first play, get 5 yards, and then hit him with a play action pass.
Right.
Because that's what you told us. That's what you told us. And how you establish the run, you run the ball on first and second down. That's just what you do. Unfortunately, that's just what you do.
Yeah, that early in the game, if you're trying to establish your identity as this quote unquote smash mouth football team, you don't come out and run a play action pass from the very beginning. Mind you, I believe that the Carolina Panthers had 11 design runs yesterday. 11. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Chuba had 5, and I believe Miles Sanders had 6.
Yeah, I would say a lot of that.
Or flip that around. Chuba had 6, and Miles Sanders had 5. And then Mike Boone got 4 carries in garbage time.
And I think we're probably on the same page with that. It's very hard to establish a run game when you start a 10-point hole right off the bat. You give up 7. Also, we didn't even talk about it, but the very first play of the game, defensively, that entire D-line got blown off 9 yards.
Oh, that
9
wasn't
yards.
just
Like that
we're gonna get to that defense.
That was
for
the
sure.
very first thing that happened for the Panthers this season. That was disgusting.
And that wasn't just the first play.
That was damn near.
That was the
every-
whole fucking game.
But the first play is
The first
it
game
happened.
was terrible. The first play was horrible.
But that's how they figured out that this is what we can do all game.
Yeah,
right.
because that sets the tone. So don't tell me that we can't come back and do the same thing if that's who you want your identity to be. You went and spent $150 on these interior linemen, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, to be quite frank,
They looked a lot
that's
better.
damn near the best offensive line play that I've seen in about 3 or 4 fucking years.
The few plays that they did run the ball, they actually looked good. Like, they looked really good establishing the run. Unfortunately, I even wrote it down. Unfortunately, the game script didn't allow for the run to really become a thing, even though every run play damn near was success.
Yeah, because, PFF, the top 5 graded players, 3 of them was offensive linemen.
Yep.
So, the offensive linemen didn't have a bad game. No. But, most of this game was us trying to get 21 points in one drive.
Can't do it.
That's what happens. You try to make up a big deficit in one drive. It doesn't work like that. And that led to Bryce overthrowing receivers, throwing it into double coverage, receivers fumbling the football, just doing too much, man. And that's when, as a coach, you got to bring them on the sideline. Hey, settle the fuck down. Settle the fuck down.
No,
everybody settle the fuck down. We can't go get 21 points in this one drive. Settle the fuck down. We still have a full half of football left to play. We still have 3 quarters left to play. Okay, we gave up 10 points. Fuck it. Let's go back to what we've been doing all offseason. We gave up 10 points. There's nothing you can do about that now. There's nothing you can do. Bend but don't fucking break.
Right.
Put your fucking hand and feet in the dirt and go after somebody. Hit somebody.
Which, to the defense's credit, as soon as the offense turned the ball over early in the game, first possession, defense holds them to 3.
Yeah, they force a field
Defense
goal.
does
Use
exactly
TFL
what
from
they
Shaq,
do.
I believe.
What they're supposed to do, hold them to 3, give the offense another shot just to go out there. I believe this was the JT Sanders drive, right, where he commits the hold? This was the second drive of the game? Or was this where Bryce overthrew? Because they happened consecutively.
Yeah, I can't remember because I know we got on that particular drive you're talking about. I know we got to a 3rd and 1 and had a beautiful run from Miles Sanders.
You ran the ball decent yesterday. I will say that.
I told you that he's been running with an attitude. He's been running with an attitude all summer, and yesterday that didn't change. He did get smacked. I think DeMario Davis came through and cleaned his ass up, but he still can't bounce right back up. Okay, cool, nigga, it's all smoke. So I can't remember exactly what play that was.
So the next drive, they come out 3rd down. Bryce has a little bit of pressure, and he airmails it
To Deontay Johnson.
Is this
Yeah,
after?
this was on that up the sideline.
Is this after or before he was tackled by Taylor Moton? Just by Taylor
Yeah, I
Moton
think-
No,
standing
this was
there.
after.
Yeah, because
This was
Taylor,
after.
I don't understand, bro. That shit just can't happen. That just can't happen, and I think that attributes to you just not having enough reps with your player. Because, Bryce, he could have broke the pocket and ran for a first down, possibly.
I think
Well,
that Bryce
he
is just
broke
too
it.
light in the ass.
But he ran right into fucking Taylor Moton.
who was
and-
just standing there.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Literally, what are you doing, bro?
If you really, really, really want to be pissed off, when they drop that all 22, we're going to go right to that play. Because the problem stems from way before that. That play, I don't know what the fuck the design was, but literally every offensive lineman sprinted out to the left side. Chuba sprinted out so it looks like it's a potential screen, little bubble screen, whatever the fuck. That's what it looks like. But then when you look at Chuba, it's just like that nigga is not ready to catch the ball. So what potentially were we trying to accomplish on this play? I'm dying for the all 22 to drop. I can't wait. I cannot wait because we're talking like this, and this is just off a rewatch of the actual game, of the broadcast. Because I love getting in that. I love getting in that film room. I love getting in that film room because that film room tells me everything I need to know personally. But continue, Tavian. My apologies for once again. But while you do this, I just got to add my 2 cents because I remember all of this shit now. I remember I'm remembering all of this shit. So we have the airmail to Deontay Johnson.
Right.
After the bullshit, this nigga running into Taylor Moton while Taylor Moton is just standing there. And Taylor Moe tries to help him.
He does.
Get up, little nigga.
He tried to pick him up, and it's
Tried
like
to
Bryce
pick him
just,
up.
It looked like Bryce almost thought he was a defender and just went down. Like just gave up.
Child's play. Baby shit.
Because even when he made he was already stumbling, getting out. He was tripping over his own
That nigga
feet.
stumbled so much yesterday, bro. I don't get the nigga.
Behind nothing. I don't get behind nothing. That's what pisses me off. Behind nothing, nigga.
I don't
it
get
won't no bro. I don't. He gotten damn near no pressure, bro. I looked at the shit PFF. I think one nigga allowed one pressure offensive line wise, and Icky allowed 4. And to be quite frank, with the year that Icky had last year, with 0 quarterback hits and 0 sacks allowed, I personally can live with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out Ick for not being.
I personally can live with that.
For not being super.
0 allowed sacks from the offensive line. 0. We had 4 total sacks. 1 was allowed by Miles Sanders per PFF. 1 was allowed by Miles Sanders.
It was. He just got blown off.
He got blown up. Yeah, absolutely. 1 was allowed by him, and the other 3 were strictly on Bryce Young. The same bitch-ass yellow motherfucker in the same exact package.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I blame that shit on Bryce, but being that it happened 3 times in a fucking row, I gotta throw coaching in there.
Absolutely.
Because they ran the same blitz on 3rd down every single fucking time, and the same motherfucker came off the same edge and sacked them.
Yep.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to go to you got to chip them. You got to go to quick game. I shouldn't have a receiver running fucking 15 yards down the field when I know they're going to send a blitz.
But you know what, though? At the same time, it's because they were in such a hole. They just started calling shot plays like the whole rest of the game. They were just looking for, like you said, like you alluded to, they were trying to get 21 in one possession. That's just where the game script went.
Yeah, that's very alarming.
But the next drive, after, at this point, it's still 10-0, right?
Yep.
So the next drive is when the front of the Carolina Panthers defense just got absolutely no push anywhere ever. I mean, Derek Carr could sit back there and read a magazine, take a shit, and wipe his ass, and then throw the ball.
He's not fucking good, bro.
It was absurd the amount of time that he was allowed in the pocket, and that was the drive that ended where he rolls out to the right. Tight end breaks contain, goes right up the middle, scores a touchdown right in the heart of the defense. Yeah. That was that same play. So that same drive.
Did what I said earlier make sense? Do you still feel the same way that you do about that particular play? About that play?
The reason I feel the same way is because I don't think that I will be able to. You're not going to be able to see how close he was to the dude unless you see the all 22. Because regardless of how you watch it, it looks like that he was close enough to make a better effort to where he could have deflected it or picked the ball off.
For that particular play, I put the blame on Shaq. I put the blame on Shaq because his eyes were too far in the backfield, and he lost sight of the tight end when he broke, because that was right where he was already going that way, but then he started watching Derek Carr, and his feet stopped, and next thing you know, that middle is wide open.
Yeah, because it's man to man. That's why you have Ashawn Robinson running all the way back, because he seen the nigga.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he ran all the way back to try to make a play on it, but by that time you're beat. And then another thing that I say about Mike Jackson, I know you said if a receiver gets pushed out of bounds, he can come back in and catch the ball. True. But the dude spun around. He didn't even get pushed. Like, Mike Jackson was on him to start with, but he tried to break off of Mike Jackson and spun around and ran out of bounds his fucking self.
And that's
so at that point, he's no longer he's a dead receiver. But
and Mike Jackson turned, and then now at this point, he's been covering him for 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So he turns around.
Where the fuck is the ball? This shit's still going on.
Yeah, and then he sees another guy breaking wide open in front of him. So now he has to adjust when that was actually Shaq's response.
Yeah, so maybe it was too much for him, but at the same, but what I'm just like where we are in the game. It's just like, bro, just make a fucking play. Just make a fucking play, please. God, just make a play.
So that puts us down 17-0 going into – this is all in the first quarter.
Everything we talked about, we didn't
score until the end of the fucking first half.
So we go into the second quarter. We get the ball back and actually look halfway decent, halfway competent. The ball starts moving up the field. Lo and behold, you get your biggest play, best play of the game. Believe it was Miles Sanders runs off to the right. Beautiful play called by Canales. The way he had coached, the way he called the previous 3 plays and then led into that run, excellent play calling, in my opinion, by Canales. And it all goes back from 3rd and 1, you gain like 40 yards, and it goes back because of a holding by JT Saunders.
Rookie mistake.
Was a rookie mistake.
And to be quite frank, the knock on JT Sanders is the fact that he doesn't show effort during run blocking. And to be quite honest with you, I can live with that.
Yeah,
because you're a rookie.
Yeah, and that shows that you're actually out there trying to block.
Trying to do your job. I think he got hit with 2 of those holdings, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got hit with 2 of them. Couple of them, he just got blown up. Cam Jordan fucked him in the hole one time in the gap. That sounded wild. Pause. Fucked him in the gap one time. But like I said, bro, the effort is there. Like with JT Sanders, that's another guy that as the season goes on, we'll focus on and we'll touch more on. But I mean, to me, he played a solid game yesterday.
He wouldn't have to be out there if Ian Thomas wasn't such a bitch. So, I mean.
That's something else they don't want to talk about, too. Actually, it's not even them. It's the front office. I don't know why he's still a part of this roster, bro. And we allow him to make the 53-man roster just for him to go immediately on IR 5 days later.
I would have cut him.
Yeah.
I would have cut him.
I don't get it. And then Tommy Tremble, he's been hurt off and on this offseason. Long story short, JT Sanders is going to have to grow up very, 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 very quickly.
Yeah, and that I figured the same thing too when I saw who it was. I was like, rookie mistake, tough. You really don't want to see it there. It's not a good holding penalty at all. He's not absolved of that. It was a fucking terrible play. You don't do that in that situation. But you did make the effort. I'm not even going to say that if Ian Thomas was on the field that he wouldn't have held his damn self. Not going to say that. Yeah. So
because that's just a tough – I mean, but the reason why I don't believe Ian Thomas would have made that penalty or would have, had that holding is because Ian Thomas has been in the league for, 4, 5, 6 years now. Mm-hmm. So he understands, okay, down and distance. 3rd and 1, that holding occurred literally right at the first down marker. So even if this guy makes the tackle, our job is done because we know that our guy is going to continue to go forward just based off the angle that he's coming. So that's why I say I may give Ian that amount of credit and say it may have not been a holding, but I'm still not mad at the effort part of it from JT Sanders. I'm not, personally. I'm just not.
But it does set you back to now 3rd and 11 where Bryce gets blasted by a DB coming off the edge because that's, I think, when they first started incorporating that little blitz package that they started using. That's when they first start. That's the first time I saw it. I'm going to have to go back and watch all 22, but that's the first time I personally saw it. And that drive is over. Just like that second quarter, what looked like it was about to be a very promising drive that was going to lead to some points on the board, quickly shut down, turns it the other way.
And then they continue, and then they get the ball back in March.
Right.
And get 3 points. And then we get the ball back again. Is this the Mingo fumble?
This is the Mingo fumble. You make yet another drive where it looks like something is brewing, promising. You get a good play call. Hand the ball off to what you believe is one of your better playmakers on the team in Jonathan Mingo, who finds a gap, cuts up, gains about 7 or 8, and can't hold on to the ball.
Gains about 20.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think it was more than 7 or 8.
Yeah, it was more than 7 or 8.
Yeah, but can't hold on to the ball.
Yeah, irregardless, it ended in shit.
And to be honest, that's another thing that I blame on coaching. I know that y'all probably aren't going to try and allow me to get that off. But if I told y'all the amount of times I saw the offensive staff working on ball security in training camp, it's almost laughable, specifically the wide receivers. Running backs, yeah, they had them out there, a little punching bag, trying to knock it out. Wide receivers, I didn't see that much.
Yeah, I mean.
I didn't see that much at all.
I mean, that's probably true. But at the same time, you done been through Pee Wee football, you done been through middle school, you done been through high school, you done been through college. And unfortunately, you're on your, 3rd year in the league?
Second.
Hold on to the fucking football. More of the story. Hold on to the ball. You know what position your team is in. We're not getting these big plays much often because our quarterback isn't doing shit. Like, when you get that play, hold on to the ball. Great play call by Dave Canales.
Great play call. He called a great game. The same thing, like, I was confused. I want to say, week 1 or 2 of the preseason, and I seen people trying to shit on Dave Canales' play calling. I don't see that at all.
Which we said in the offseason, we think that this offense, this play calling, was set up for Bryce to be successful.
Yes.
And it looked that way in the preseason. It looked that way in training camp because those plays are designed to for him to get yards, for him to get into a rhythm. But when you have shit like that, it just kind of like it fucks everything up.
Yeah, absolutely does. And I think they came away with 3 though, which now made the game 23-0. Which
at some point we scored a damn field goal. What was that at the end?
That was at the end of the half,
Yeah.
where it was already 30-0. We put 3 on the board.
right. So then the
Lord,
following
have mercy.
possession, you kind of go. It was a really short drive, not really memorable. You end up punting the ball away, and this is when you give up the massive with a minute and 30 seconds or so left in the second quarter. You give up a massive punt return, put them right in front of the end zone to where they score again.
Is
Throw
that the
again.
Jawan Jennings? Is that not Jawan Jennings? Jawan Johnson touchdown on the sideline. Is that what that was?
That
He
might
had
have
a
been.
he caught a dime, Tony toe tap over 2 defenders.
Yeah.
Just embarrassing. Is that the one that was? I believe it was.
I didn't specify. The only thing that I wrote down was the defense is making Derek Carr look elite, and everybody looks like they're a step behind. Everybody on the defense looked like they were a step behind.
Hold right there, because that's a deeper, darker conversation that we won't fully go into. But this is something that I noticed yesterday. I not only watched the Carolina Panthers, and I know that y'all try to get that off, like that we don't be knowing football because
Yeah, that's just not the fucking case. I
It's
hate to
not
tell
the
you. I
case
watch
at
damn
all.
near every fucking game in the fucking league, college, NFL.
Literally.
Like,
literally. But one thing that I noticed yesterday that was very, very alarming to me was that when I watched the Panthers football game, and then I went back today and watched a couple of other football games in totality. I watched the 4:30 window with the Cowboys. I watched that game. I watched the Commanders and Bucks. Like, no matter who I went to, everybody in the NFL just seems bigger, faster, and stronger in comparison to the Carolina Panthers. In particular, faster. That is very alarming to me. That is because it's like we're damn near not even playing on the same playing field, bro. Like, just from a speed standpoint, bro. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. That is very, very alarming. Very, very alarming to me.
And I don't even think I don't want to attribute it just solely to like their physical limitations of speed, because I don't really know if that's the issue. What I was seeing was like it was an issue with processing. It was like guys would see it, recognize it, and react late. Like the whole process of what you got to do when you're dissecting a play, everything was late. Like the processing was very delayed, and it was like so frustrating. It's because like you're looking right at it, but you react a step slow. And we're in the NFL. You don't have time to react a step slow. You have to react.
yeah. And like I was saying, and I agree with Dave Canales, what he said in the presser. A lot of this shit was just fucking mental fuck mistakes. Like, it was just a lot of this was just bullshit mistakes, just back to the basics of fucking football.
Fundamentals and mechanics.
Yeah, it was fucking embarrassing.
And something else that he said in his presser, I don't know if you caught his presser this afternoon,
Yeah,
but this is another thing that he mentioned, which was like, yeah, I mean, we're fucked. There were 4 particular categories that he said we got beaten. One was turnovers. I believe that count was 3-1. And he said the one that we got when we recovered the fumble or whatever it was.
don't even count that shit.
Yeah, he said we don't even count that. Third down was another one. They executed on 54% or 57% in comparison to our like 2 for 12. Another one was the red zone. We went 1 for 2 in the red zone. They went 4 for 4. And then there was one more category that I'm just completely going blank on. But that's, again, very, very alarming, bro. Because he even said it himself. If you win one of those categories, like, you're going to be in a position to win the football game. Like, if you're executing on third down better than the opposing team, more than likely you're still going to be in the ball game, even if you're losing the turnover battle, even if you're not doing so well in the red zone, whatever the case may be, more than likely you're going to be A-okay. Same thing in the red zone. If your defense stands up and gets a stop and doesn't allow a 4 for 4 performance, you're going to be A-okay if you go 2 for 2 in the red zone and the other team goes 2 for 4 or 3 for 4, whatever the case may be. So, like, it's just like from top to bottom, dog. Yep. From top to bottom, every aspect of this game was just it really, like, had me sick, bro. It really, really had me sick. Like, and I think maybe it was because of the money that I spent, the time that I don't even know if it was that more so than like I'm so excited that NFL football is back and this was the product that I was presented.
I mean, no, you have every right to be. It's week 1, and what you essentially watched was like, all right, it's week 1, but you experienced 18 weeks of losing in 1 week because of the product that you saw, and you having the knowledge that you do about football, you already know what's in store for this team.
Yeah.
So you have every right to feel like that because it feels like another wasted season, and because everything that we just went through. They close out the first half with a field goal. There you go. That's the entire game.
And then
That's
we come
the entire
back and we come back and throw an interception.
Right.
So even if you did want to go down and cut that bitch 30-10,
right, to give yourself a chance,
immediately gone.
Because Bryce Young decides to climb the pocket. Good move, good decision.
that
Made the
was
right
great.
decision. Climb the pocket, but then, like you said earlier, when he threw the fadeaway pass. He threw a fadeaway pass while climbing the pocket and airmailed it to Adam Thielen. It didn't make any – the
Just
way
too
that he
fucking much.
threw the ball didn't even make sense for where he was throwing it and the motion that was going on. Because how are you climbing while simultaneously fading? I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, bro, I was like, none of that shit made any sense. Footwork was terrible. Bryce Young's footwork, horrible. Bryce Young has horrible footwork.
Dave
According to
Canales
Dave-
said it was good.
I was about to say, according to Dave Canales today in his presser, Monday afternoon, he said that he thought his footwork looked fine.
Well, I guess that's why Dave Canales is a head coach, and I'm just talking about
Well,
it on podcast.
but he did say that's damn near the only thing Bryce did good.
Yeah, that is actually exactly what he
Everything else was bullshit. He was like
Yeah.
a lot of missed throws, a lot of overthrows, but footwork was solid.
said. Probably like 4 or 5 overthrows that I can count.
Yeah,
This is a problem, too,
I just
bro.
don't think he has the accuracy downfield, bro.
I thought the footwork would have been fine if he was Patrick Mahomes. Because those are the type of platforms that Mahomes throws off of, what he was doing.
Those are the type platforms that allegedly Bryce thrives in. I mean, I did not see that yesterday. I'm not going to hold you to. It's very scary and very alarming that, just first and foremost, to go back to your point, the reason why it was like kind of like befuddling was because, like, bro, it didn't feel like week 1. It felt like week 18 or 19 of 2023. That's why that shit kind of had me emotional. Like, no cap, because it's like, bro, this is about to be an everlasting cycle.
And it's because you didn't get beat like that none last season.
Absolutely not. You were competitive. That's something
Until the end of the season. The last, 2 games.
Yeah, when we didn't score any points. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But that was part of the reason why I had us where I did. Because when I look at this team last year, bro, we were competitive in literally every single football game, with the exception of the games that it was just completely dicked off. But if you look at the first 6, 7, 8 weeks of the season last year, every single one of those ball games were competitive. Every single one, we were putting on competitive product. Now, was that shit nasty at times? Absolutely. Was that shit 12-9 at times, whatever the case may be? Absolutely. But every single one of them was competitive. Every single one. Yesterday, nah.
It was over by the second possession of the third quarter. That game was wrapped.
Shit.
You could say earlier, but I'm being generous.
I was about to say.
I'm being generous because
that shit
that's
was
when
over
I
in the first
personally
quarter to me.
Yeah, that's when I personally cut the film off, and I was like, I've seen enough.
Shit.
'Cause
It
nothing else
was
is gonna be
over in the
competitive
first
from
quarter
here
to me.
on out.
Because, like we talked about, I mean, we've said this multiple times. When we question what the defense will look like, this offense ain't really designed to go blow for blow for a 25-point-plus type duel. Bryce Young don't got that in his artillery, unfortunately,
No.
We seen one game of it.
against Green Bay.
But to that, what you just said simultaneously, that defense isn't designed to be stopping dudes in short field situations.
Nope.
So when you have an offense that's dicking off and you have a defense that's dicking off, you get 47-10.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we said at the beginning of the season. This defense is so bad. Like, I don't care what anybody – this is a terrible defense. And I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. Since the beginning of the fucking offseason. This defense is bad. And the only reason that you can offset this defense is to have a high-powered offense.
Or long, sustained drives.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
Them
just
on the
don't have that.
sideline. But the defense showed you that they can get a stop. It's possible for them to stop somebody. Even in short yardage, it is possible. But the offense didn't show you that they can have long, sustained drives. They didn't show you that not when it mattered, not when it was competitive. They showed you that when the Saints were about wrapping it up, starting to move on to next week.
Yeah. And another another thing, just to comment off of that, you said our defense is so bad, it only gets worse.
Yeah.
Because Derek Brown, I mean, if y'all haven't heard the news, which I don't know how y'all wouldn't have, but Derek Brown has a torn meniscus, potentially has the ability to be out for the duration of the season after receiving 4 years, $96 million, and getting absolutely dominated against the New Orleans Saints, who has a questionable O-line, probably one of the worst O-lines that we'll see all year.
And Jadeveon Clowney ain't do shit.
Jadeveon Clowney...
because that rookie, what is he, a rookie? Penning? I mean, you couldn't tell he was a rookie.
Nope.
No, he's not a rookie. This is second or third year.
Well whatever it was.
He's just not good.
Just not good.
He's not good.
Yeah, he's dog shit. And Jadeveon Clowney was nowhere to be found at all.
And he on the sideline yelling at niggas, trying to get niggas hyped up. You not doing shit yourself.
1 tackle, if you want to be specific about it. Derek Brown had 3 tackles. Let's go through the stat sheet real quick. Let's just go through the stat sheet real quick because I forgot to do that. Let's just go through this shit. 13 to 30, 161, 2 interceptions. Don't even get me started. I should have stood on business. But we'll continue.
You know, I was going to say in your rant earlier, you might not have been wrong in your take about Andy Dalton earlier this summer.
That he's better than Bryce.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
You might not have been
Y'all
wrong
gaslit me, and niggas that watch us and voted on that poll gaslit me into feeling like that I was just tweaking out. But no, I was not tweaking out.
But you
I thought you were tweaking out.
But
when
then
you said it.
I did too. But then you also went and fueled it by hyping the nigga Bryce up.
Yep, and you know what? And you know why I did that? Because he was going against bum ass cornerbacks. And what happened to them?
And what the fuck did I tell you?
A week before.
What did I tell you?
Before the season started, all of them got clipped. Every
of them.
single last one of them, except for JC.
This shit almost sound like something I said verbatim. But
Put
dim the light on me. I don't know shit. Dim the light on me.
5 for 22 for Miles Sanders, 6 of 14 for Chuba. Bryce Young did his over. 4 rushes for 12 yards. He did hit it. That was free. Adam Thielen, 3 catches for 49 yards, then proceeded to get stretched. Jonathan Mingo, 2 for 40, 1 fumble lost. XL, 7 targets, 4 catches for 35 yards. Very impressed by his debut. Not going to hold you. Does he deserve more opportunities? Absolutely. Now, y'all want to run the narrative that he deserves more opportunities than Jonathan Mingo? I don't agree with that. Because when I look at that separation chart, I don't agree with that. I don't.
I do think that if they ever call that play that Jonathan fumbled on, I think X should be the one running around that edge and not Jonathan.
It's possible. I probably agree with you because he's probably a little bit faster, ball
bigger.
security, bigger. Right, yeah, absolutely. Deontay Johnson, 2 for 19. Not going to cut it. Hate to tell you, big bro. Not going to cut it. Shaq, 10 tackles, 2 TFLs. Ashawn Robinson, 9 tackles, no TFLs.
9 tackles as a defensive lineman. That's how you know they was just running that bitch.
Yep. Josie Jewell, 7 for 3. Mike Jackson, 7 with a PBU. Ikuliota, probably one of the better defensive performers yesterday as well. 4 tackles, 3 of them were TFLs, had a sack. Ikuliota seemed like he deserved to be there. Not going to hold you. Everybody wants to figure out what we're going to do on the opposite side of Jadeveon. That may be your answer. Because I seen a play earlier when I rewatched the film. They ran a little tall sweep or whatever, and DJ Johnson got hemmed up by Chris Olave and got driven 3 yards back and then proceeded to finally shed the block, and his pursuit angle was dog shit. But I digress.
He's ass.
Cool. I mentioned the separation chart earlier. This is part of the reason why we can no longer say and use that excuse about Bryce Young and the weapons. I said this, I want to say day 4 or 5 of training camp, that weapons was no longer a problem. And to be quite frank, nothing that I saw yesterday showed me that weapons were a problem. Not going to hold you. NFL average for yards of separation yesterday was 2.96 yards. Adam Thielen averaged 3.44 yards of separation. Deontay Johnson averaged 2.58 yards of separation. Xavier Legette averaged 1.76 yards of separation. And Jonathan Mingo averaged 3.32 yards per play of separation. So, yeah, we can't say that them receivers weren't getting open yesterday. So if you're Bryce Stan, you want to keep caping for the nigga, throw that one out of your artillery, out of your arsenal, because it's not going to work.
It was a bad quarterback performance, bro. He just looked like dog shit.
Absolutely. Bryce Young looked scared yesterday. That's why I'm confused. He looked like I won't even use the word, but what I seen in that nigga's eyes yesterday, and then the audacity on the first offensive play to smile. What the fuck is funny? And then but when I get to tweaking, cause I pick up on all of this shit, man. And then but people want to act like I'm crazy, right? I told y'all that I didn't like seeing every time I see Ikem Ekwonu, that nigga is smiling and laughing like shit is a fucking joke. Then I see it again with Bryce Young. I don't know what is so funny to these niggas. I really, really don't. I don't know what's so funny, but it's very frustrating for me. It really is. And as y'all can see, I think I'm doing a better job with remaining calm because it is week 1. But should we continue these type performances over the next month to month and a half of the start of the NFL season, the tonality ain't going to be the same, bro. It's just simply not. Like, it's not going to happen. What did you have? My apologies.
No, I was just going to allude into the scared thing. That's why I was very confused as to what Canales was referring to when he said that Bryce had really good footwork yesterday. Because when I was watching the tape, the reason that I first initially thought Bryce was scared was because he had happy feet in the pocket. Like, everything was like choppy and erratic. It just didn't. It looked like somebody who was moving scared, somebody who was ready to run for their life on every single play.
With no need to do so.
Right.
With no need. Bro, if you go look at, again, I know a lot of people don't want to go by PFF, and a lot of people don't like PFF, but everybody on that offensive line yesterday was green.
Graded well.
Graded very well. Specifically our 2 interior D linemen. With O-lineman, with Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis.
Damian Lewis was the highest graded lineman on the team.
But I think part of Bryce's problem is, like, he does not like when that pressure comes right up the gut. Like, in the, you know how, like, some quarterbacks will stand in that pocket. It, like, doesn't matter what's in front of them.
Matthew Stafford did last night.
That's what
stare down the barrel of a fucking gun and throw that bitch.
Matt Stafford, Brady famously would always do it. Just stand in that pocket.
Allen.
Josh Allen. Pat kind of gets out and gets loose, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's Drew Brees would stand in that pocket. A quarterback similar in stature to Bryce Young, similar play style to Bryce Young, would stand in the pocket and take it under the chin. Bryce Young, as soon as the guards gave up an inch, because it wasn't like the guards were just clearing them out up front. Like, they would give up a few feet,
but they gave time,
but they would give plenty of time. And it's not like the D linemen were breaking through. There was plenty of times where Bryce could have easily stepped up, but he saw his guards getting pushed back just a little bit, and that would be when he would decide to fade on his throws, when he would decide to not step up and deliver a strike. He would allow his drops to get interrupted. Like, it was just really weird behavior.
If his dad want to do anything that's going to benefit the season, he need to enroll that nigga in one of his therapy sessions. Because he got to settle the fuck down, man. He just got to settle down, nigga. Settle down. Like, that shit would be cool to get off last season because we know the offensive line was bullshit. But fortunately, this is just not the same offensive line you're working with.
It's not.
Like, they're a lot better. Settle the fuck down. Because I think a lot of those throws, if you just settle down, go through your progressions, and throw the fucking football, the throws are there. The plays are there. You got to settle down. The receivers are open.
It was, I mean, to me, like, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. Like, that game should have been a lot more competitive than it was. Maybe not from a defensive standpoint, but the way I knocked Dave Canales for the way we started the game with you going play action pass. I still think you established the run. But bro, a lot of those plays, if you go and look back at it, and I will do more a deeper dive when I look at the all 22 because that has not released yet. But a lot of these plays, bro, it seemed like a lot of them were working. Like, the majority of them were working, in my opinion. Like, oftentimes what was happening is Bryce was either, like you said, panicky, getting out way too fast, speeding everything up, or he just wants to scramble out of the pocket and make a bullshit dumbass throw.
Trying to do too much.
Trying to do way too much. Because there were not many plays yesterday that the Carolina Panthers ran from a broadcast standpoint, from what I saw on the broadcast, that guys weren't winning. Like, it just didn't seem like that was the case. But for whatever reason, his timing was off because he was speeding himself up. It was just a lot of things, bro. Like, I saw yesterday, we've talked about over the offseason that we want to see development from Bryce Young and just see him take a step. And ideally, that is what we want to see from this season, especially after what we saw yesterday, because it just seems like, you know, this is not what JJ believed it was from a team standpoint. I said January 5th we would be playing for a divisional title. Not going to happen. That shit was just dumb as hell too. But I digress. I saw a significant amount of regression from Bryce Young yesterday. And that scares me. That scares me. Because if y'all want to have the deeper, darker conversation, if Bryce Young doesn't work out and Bryce Young is not what this organization believed he was last year when they decided to draft him number 1 overall, we're looking at another 5 to even maybe 10 years of just dog shit football. Literally.
I mean, I think at this point, if that shit ends up panning out like that, unfortunately, you just got to load up on first-round picks.
Yeah.
You just got to load up on first-round picks and just go build your team throughout the next couple of years.
Yep. Let's go. We'll get a little bit more. There's a couple more things that I want to talk about. We'll do that after Juice. Y'all have y'all's tickets ready?
Indeed, I do.
That's surprising.
Indeed, I don't, but I can get it ready.
I'm ready.
Don't steal my shit neither.
Because, I mean, I just been getting fucking hammered.
Oh, yeah. We had a tough weekend. We had a tough weekend.
Very, very bad beats all around. Josh Jacobs, you are such a fucking pussy.
Here's Dylan's plus 1427 this week. He gave us more juice because I guess he took offense to what we had to say last week on the podcast.
Did you say 427?
1427.
Okay.
14.
Okay, so he actually did something this time.
Yes.
Okay.
1427. Indianapolis Colts, Green Bay Packers, SGP for the first 3 legs of this parlay. Over 35.5 points. Indianapolis Colts money line. Actually, it was for the first 2 legs. My apologies. So over 35.5. Indianapolis Colts money line. Then he goes to the Buffalo Bills and Dolphins. Takes the over on alt points, 41.5. App State money line against ECU on Saturday. 49ers minus 4.5 against the Minnesota Vikings, and then the Washington Commanders money line. I'm not sure who they play.
The Giants.
Against the Giants. Not a bad bet. That's not a bad ticket there. I'm actually might tell that.
The ticket's all right, but he's clipped at the App State game.
Yeah, that App State,
Pirate
shit
Nation,
is not
Dylan.
going. Yeah, it's not going the way you think it is.
Y'all ain't about to walk into Dowdy and get that shit off. I promise you that.
No,
I'll make sure of it too.
No, sir. No, sir.
I'll make sure.
I have one. I have a 4-leg here, plus 1018. Very, very simple. New Orleans Saints to cover the spread against Dallas at plus 6.5. Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 7 against the Detroit Lions. Jacksonville Jaguars money line against the Cleveland Browns. I don't know why those odds are so good at minus 186, but I'll damn sure take it. Appreciate you. And the Baltimore Ravens to cover the spread against the Las Vegas Raiders at minus 9.5. That's plus 1018. 10 to get you 101. And yeah, that's what I have on my end. What do you guys have?
I have a money line ticket. This is I think it's a pretty decent ticket. I've got the Dallas Cowboys money line versus the Saints. I have the Baltimore Ravens money line versus the Raiders. I have the New York Jets money line versus the Titans. I have the Washington Commanders money line versus the Giants. I have the Los Angeles Rams money line versus the Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Steelers money line versus the Broncos, and the Philadelphia Eagles money line versus the Falcons. Plus 1620, 7-leg parlay. Go ahead and put it in. Those teams should win.
All right.
Terrence?
All right, so mine is a 7-leg. This is plus 1891. Money line ticket, 1 spread on here. I have the Dolphins against the Bills. That's going to be a tough one, but I just think the Dolphins are a better team. They started off slow this past week, but who gives a fuck? Tyreek got arrested and came back. Dallas money line against the Saints. I got the Lions covering -7 against the Bucks. I have San Francisco money line against the Vikings. The Ravens money line against Las Vegas. The Jets money line against the Titans, and the Washington Commanders money line against the Giants. That's plus 1891, 7-leg.
It's not bad. I think I may hear a lot of winners. Not gonna lie. I like mine. I like Dylan's. Actually Dylan is fucked because that App State joint ain't hitting. But I like y'all too. I like y'all's as well.
I think the only questionable one is -7 against Tampa Bay, the Detroit Lions. But I just feel like Tampa Bay can't fuck with them niggas after what I seen last night. And they didn't even have a great ball game, in my opinion. Amon-Ra wasn't really a contributor. Jared Goff turned the ball over, so.
Yeah. But were you able to see the Tampa Bay game?
Nah, I didn't watch the Tampa Bay game. Who did they play?
It was against Washington.
Yeah, they played against Washington.
It was against Washington, so I won't put too much stock into it, but they look halfway decent. This division is going to be a lot tougher than I believed it was. I'll be honest with you. I'll be completely honest with you. Now, the Atlanta game, I haven't had the chance to go back and watch that one.
Oh, my God, that was disgusting.
Was it?
Kirk Cousins is not it, bro.
TJ Watt had a fucking day.
Yeah. I heard they got him for a penalty for a strip sack that resulted in a touchdown for the Falcons that shouldn't even have been a penalty.
That Kyle Pitts.
All sides joint. And it was a strip sack for all sides that the Steelers recovered, and I heard that he was not all sides. I actually seen the footage. He was not all sides.
Yeah, that game was, I'm not going to lie, that game was disgusting. And you know who actually didn't look halfway bad?
Dante
did not look halfway bad back there.
Dante Jackson had more
I was just about to
yards on his interception return at the end of the game than Deontay Johnson had all game against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I mean, Dante, you could, because I was at brunch. I was sitting beside John, diehard Steelers fan. He had the game pulled up. We were sitting there watching it. Every time I would look over, Pittsburgh was on defense. I seen a little motherfucker with twisted up dreads hanging out of his helmet, making a play. I said, "Is that bro?" Sure enough, it was Dante.
So you damn near didn't even have to ask.
That's how you know niggas be fanned out though. John texts me talking about we trash when they were down. I'm like, bro, pay attention to your fucking game. Yeah. Why are you worried about us? You texting me when your team down.
And overs and
weird.
Unders. Yeah,
it's weird.
Same thing with my cousin at overs and unders. He keep talking about the Panthers. Fuck, nigga, y'all lost too.
Yeah, like.
And y'all put up 10 points the same way we did. So why do you keep texting my phone? Why are y'all calling me? Atlanta.
Yeah.
Stop calling my line.
Because y'all had, to be honest, if you're an Atlanta fan right now, y'all had way higher expectations than the Panthers coming into this season.
Way higher.
Y'all lost to Justin Fields and the Steelers, who Justin Fields didn't even look good. Justin Fields did not look good. I saw him dirt quite a few passes when I was watching. They only put up
18 points.
Yeah, it was a very nasty game. And Atlanta looked almost, if not more, nasty than the Panthers. I'll be honest. There was nothing to write home about in that Atlanta game.
Can you come to the game this Sunday?
I don't know, bro. I don't know if I can.
Stay in Greenville. We'll go to the ECU App State.
I don't know if I can stay in Greenville because Curl wants to ride with us now.
Okay. That's on y'all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why can't he ride with Carter?
Oh, I guess he could ride with Carter.
You know who I talked to the other day?
Who?
C-Bake.
Really?
Shout out Bake, man. Shout out Bake, man. Shout out Bake. I be missing my niggas, man. I be missing my niggas from college, bro. I be missing my niggas from college. But I tapped in with him. We had a great conversation. He said he's going to try and make it on Saturday to the tailgate.
I'll be honest.
He said,
C-Bake, if you're listening, we know you ain't going to be there.
He said, but he did tell me. He did tell me. He was honest about the situation. He said, if I get to Charlotte in time that I can ride with somebody, then I'll come. If not, then, I'll see you the following day, because he did extend an invitation to all of us to come to their tailgate for the Carolina Panthers and Chargers game. So That's probably what I'll be doing on Sunday morning, just depending on if Terrence comes with me or not. So,
Why? Why is that dependent on me?
Just because it is.
If I can get a ticket for $20, then I might.
You can. I'm telling you can. I already told you. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you something. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, nigga. You can get one for $29 all in.
I said 20.
I mean, is $9 that much to you?
Yeah.
Lies. Let's wrap this up, man. I don't think I really have much more. I know we've gone, an hour and 26 so far?
Yeah, they sorry as fuck.
Let me see. I don't know if I had really any other thing. Insane stat. At one point or another during the game, I believe the Saints had the ball 9 possessions. Every single one of them resulted in points. You're never going to win like that.
Bryce Young had one good drive, and then he fucked that up for me when he fumbled in the end zone. Yeah. That they gave it to us.
Yeah.
Just sorry as fuck.
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney, MIA. Derek Brown, I'm going to give him slack because he did tear his shit, and they said they don't know when he tore his shit, so I'm going to commend him if he played the rest of the game on a torn meniscus, and that happened early. But just know I watched some of that film yesterday, and, I mean, nigga is giving niggas on the O-line head because they got him on his knees, hands and
Probably
knees.
why. That's probably how he tore his shit.
Maybe. What else? Let's just go to this. Let's go to this real quick. I know that you're gonna hate doing this, just because of the result of the game. But give me your player of the game from yesterday.
God, bro.
Sorry, that's what they want. You want me to go first?
Yeah. It's gonna be somebody on the defensive side.
For me, yeah. I don't know if I want to go with.
Well, let me give you mine. I'll go with Shaq. I'm gonna go with Shaq because Shaq had 10 tackles, a couple tackles for loss. I'm gonna go with Shaq. I mean, it doesn't look like he lost a step from when he broke his shit last year. Very commendable for him to put in work through the offseason, rehab his injury, come back, try to lead that defense that's very pedestrian, but he still showed up. Shout out Shaq. That's my player of the game.
Would you like to go? You watched the film yesterday.
Yeah, I would give it to. I do. God,
Okay,
that's so tough.
I'll go.
Yeah,
Taking too long, man. I'm gonna go with Mike Jackson.
that's exactly what I was about to say.
I'm gonna go with Mike Jackson. I was torn between Mike and Ikuliota. I feel like both of them played very, very good games. Like I say, Ikuliota, he had 4 tackles, 3 TFLs, a sack. So he had a very, very productive day yesterday. However, Mike Jackson, to me, to be able to come into a new organization, a new team, literally a week to a week and a half prior to game 1 via trade and be able to produce the way he did, flying around the field, seemed like he had the most energy on defense, had a phenomenal PBU, was an enter 2 away from another PBU or interception. I just loved what I saw from Mike Jackson yesterday. Mike Jackson is one person defensively, with the exception of potentially JC and Shaq Thompson, that I know that I can trust already this early, because you go look at the stat sheet, Chris Olave was strapped up. And I know that that was not all JC Horn. I know scheme attributed to that as well. But love what I saw from Mike Jackson. I'm glad that we obtained him the way we did, and I'm happy to see, what he's able to do in his development this year with this defense. I think that's going to be a huge asset for us, honestly.
Yeah, I was torn between Mike Jackson and the whole offensive line. I was thinking about giving it to them because I thought they played a really phenomenal game, especially in their run sets. I thought they created some massive lanes that Chuba and Miles Sanders could really get through. I liked a lot of the schemes. I like how they executed a lot of the blocking schemes. Even in pass pro, I thought they did a pretty decent job. Well above average, truthfully, especially because I didn't. And it's sad that this is where we're at with you, but I didn't really notice Ick making too many mistakes. So for that fact alone, I thought I would give the award to the offensive line. So because you went Mike Jack, I'm going to go the offensive line.
They say when you don't notice the offensive lineman, typically that means he's doing good.
And that's exactly what I wrote in my notes. At halftime, I wrote, I haven't seen Ick. Shout out to Ick. That's exactly what I wrote down because I was like, I haven't noticed him. Yeah. So he must be doing his damn job.
Pathetic.
Yeah, that is sad. I'm going to leave everybody with this quote. Now it is only week 1. It is only week 1.
Well, before you say this quote, do you think there's any can there be an uptrend? Like, because I do, after what I feel like,
How can there not?
How can it not?
I mean,
after what we seen yesterday, Terrence?
I mean, it can get worse.
The only way it gets worse is if what happened to Derrick Brown happens to damn near every other star on this team.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that there has to be. I don't believe that the product that the Panthers put on the field yesterday, I don't believe that that's the Carolina Panthers team that we'll see for the duration.
Absolutely not. I have a little bit of faith in Canales.
Yeah, I do too. Very, very tough coaching debut. There were a lot of questionable calls being made situationally. But just schematically, I believe he did a great job. I do believe he has the right attitude. Sometimes that shit comes off as cheesy to me, but I will say directly after the game, as well as his presser today, there's accountability in the building. And oftentimes from what I've seen from the past 2 or 3 regimes, that has been an issue. There's accountability on the players as well as the coaching staff, him doing self-reflection and understanding, okay, cool, we have to be sharper here. He said something on Monday that stuck out to me was, I got outcoached. We got outcoached as a unit, and for me, I take that personally. So that's the type mentality I believe that we need in this locker room at this time. Again, I was with the team or around the team the whole summer. They had their ups and downs, whatever the case may be. I don't believe that this is the Carolina Panthers that we'll see the next couple of weeks. It's possible because I believe that rushing attack for LA is going to come into the bank and do something crazy. I just hope that our offense is going to be able to reciprocate that energy. But I do think that we will trend upwards just, as a vote of confidence, I guess you could say. Because it's hard to go back. I mean, it's hard to go backwards. It's hard to give up 30 points in one half to a subpar offense. You know what I'm saying? So I do think we'll turn a corner at some point or another. I do.
You want to break some news real quick? Even though it doesn't really matter. ISM to the Giants.
Good. I'm happy for him. Not sure what that changes for either of those parties.
Nothing.
However, I'm glad he put some bread in his pocket and he has an opportunity to continue his NFL life. So, shout out to ISM. I had this was put out by kind of a popular Panthers Twitter page personality, Edgar Salmingo Jr., at Panthers Analyst. He said, as a rule of thumb, when a play looks bad, you question the player. When multiple plays look bad, you question the coordinator. When multiple phases look bad, you question the head coach. When multiple games look bad, you question the GM. And when multiple seasons look bad, you question the owner. And unfortunately, that's the point that we're at right now with the Carolina Panthers. I think we've gone through all phases. More or less, over the past 2 or 3 seasons.
The best thing that's going to happen for us, well, for me personally, that's going to make me feel good, is to build a new stadium. I think that's the most excitement that I'm probably going to have over the next couple of years. And it's not going to be that exciting because I know it's going to be a lot of losing football in that bitch.
Well, I mean, at least we can enjoy the game. Let's come to the game Sunday. It's only $20-something, bro. And even if you want to sit with me, it's probably like $100. Same seats
I'd be damn to pay $100 to see them niggas.
Well, okay. Well, I'll just sneak you down there. Well, I mean, we'll just make you a ticket. Sit with me. I'll just admit to a fucking felony on this pod. Okay, no worries.
Well, I mean,
scrubbing it?
even if you did,
Absolutely not.
even if you did, fuck 12, man. Because what y'all pussy ass niggas did to my nigga Reek before the game, y'all niggas is some hoe. I just watched that body cam footage. They choked this nigga out while he was already
While he
in
was
cuffs.
on the ground.
No, he was standing up. The nigga came behind him and just started choking him out.
I didn't
and
even
threw him
see
on the
the
ground.
body cam
We gonna watch it after this pod is over.
That's insane.
Fuck y'all niggas, boy.
That's insane.
Just mad because he having shit.
Mind you, this is coming from somebody that has a criminal justice degree, but I digress.
It's the reason I didn't do nothing with it.
But yeah, week 2. The main objective is to go 1-0. What happened on Sunday, we cannot fix. Take your off day, which I'm sure they did. Come back ready to work Tuesday morning when you guys hear this podcast. Understand All we need to do is go 1-0. We cannot take back what the fuck happened on Sunday. We can only progress. We can only progress and get better. That's it. Simple as that. So it's very early in the season. Optimism is pretty much gone. However, I am confident in the system and the process, and I think that Dave Canales does have what it takes to, maybe put up 1 or 2 wins this year. Yesterday, when I was damn near on the brink of tears, I was ready to say that the Carolina Panthers will go 0-17. So, hopefully that doesn't happen, but there's a potential. If you don't win one of these next 2 against the Chargers and or Raiders, you're fried. So, yeah. Y'all got anything else? Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to tune in on Friday night. We will have our live stream game preview for the Los Angeles Chargers. We'll have a special guest for that podcast as well, or for that live stream like we did last week. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn that bell notification on. Follow us on all socials. You can find those down below in the description. And we will talk to you guys very soon. Thanks for tuning in. Keep pounding.